What's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Toon deck profile. So this deck is a deck that I've wanted to do for a very long time, but Toon Kingdom was way too expensive and I could not afford it. And this is one deck that I did not want to proxy anything in the main deck. Now I have a couple of proxies in the extra deck, but I really did not want to proxy anything in the main deck, so we kind of had to wait. So let's get straight on to this and take the deck profile, but don't forget to hit that bell right down there and tell me what you think about this video down in the comments down below, and I will see what's in this deck. So anyways, let's get straight on into it. Yugi boy. So first off, we're playing two copies of Red Eyes Toon Dragon. Now this card is probably my favorite Toon of them all. They have summoning sickness, so they can't attack directly with the first turn that they're on the field. Just about all the Toons can attack directly if your opponent does not control a Toon, and some of them die. The little ones that are level 4 and lower, they die if Toon Kingdom leaves the field, but if Toon Kingdom is on the field and leaves the field with Toon Red Eyes, it does not die. Toon Dark Magician, Ancient Gear Golem, and Toon Cyber Dragon also don't die. Just a little side note. But his effect is that once per turn, you can special summon one Toon monster from your hand. And fun fact, you can actually bring him out with Blackstone of Legend, which is how we do that. Then we play 3 copies of Toon Dark Magician. You want to get Dark Magician in your hand as quickly as possible, because Dark Magician's effect is that once per turn, you can discard a Toon card to special summon one Toon monster from your deck, except another copy of itself, or add a Toon spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is like Toon Kingdom or Toon Table of Contents, which is really good. Usually the target is Toon Ancient Gear Golem, just because of how big it is, and it's an Archimedes when it attacks. Really good card, and it inflicts piercing, which makes no sense to me at all why it would inflict. I know that's the original monster effect, but if I can attack you directly for 3,000, why am I going to do piercing damage? So that's the big monsters. Then we play 2 copies of Toon Cyber Dragon, because you can make Infinity in this deck really easy, and it protects Toon Kingdom if you make Infinity. The really cool thing about this is it kind of lets you mishmash a lot of the extra deck, where you can have like Flare Metal, because you can do it with this, and you can do Infinity because of the Toon Cyber Dragons, and it lets you play a lot of the classic monsters and the newer versions of them in here, which I think is just really cool. Then for the level 4 Toons, we play 2 copies of Toon Gemini Elf. This one is if it attacks directly, your opponent has to discard a card, which is pretty good, and it's a 1900 beater, which is nice. I only play 1 copy of Toon Mermaid. It special summons itself, which is nice. I've thought about playing it a little bit more. If you guys want to play around with playing more Toon Mermaids, go for it, because it's great for link material, and it's great for overlaying. If you want to go like a totally awesome route with this, you can play 3 of this, special summon out 2 of them, overlay them, make Bahamut Shark, or have another link monster on the field already, make Bahamut Shark, detach, and then summon Totally Awesome, and it gives you access to that if you want to go that route. I have not in my build. I lean more towards the rank 7s in my build, because there's a really cool combo with Galaxy Tomahawk in here, where you can make Borreload and Sora Yugioh. So that's how I'm playing mine. If you want to, that's a really cool way to do this too. And we call it Totally Awesome Toons. But then when you play 2 copies of Toon Mass Sorcerer, this one is if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you get to draw a card, which is cool because you need draw power in this deck. I found, though, if you play any more of Toon Mass Sorcerer or Toon Gemini Elf, since they're normal summons and this card does not play anything that lets you normal summon more than once a turn, it starts to clog, and you draw more than one of them and you don't need it. Then I play a little tech card that I see a lot of people playing in this deck, and that is Eater of Millions. Eater of Millions is a really good card. You don't need a lot of your extra deck, so you can banish them to make him really big, and if he battles a monster, it banishes it, which is really good. And then for the final 3 monsters, we play 3 copies of the Blackstone of Legend, because if you draw, you need this. This is the starter of the whole deck besides Toon Kingdom, because you can hatch a Toon. It just specifically says that you contribute this card to special summon 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster. So technically this is a part of the Red Eyes archetype, which is cool because this summons it out and it starts all your plays. That's why you only play 2 of this, because you don't want to draw it. But that's it for the monsters. Let's get straight on into the spells. Now, the spells are where it's at. We only play like 2 traps in the deck, but the spells are where it's really at. So, we play 1 copy of Monster Reborn because we play a lot of level 7 monsters in this deck, so it's really easy to bring back one of the big ones. I only play 1 copy of Mimicat because it sucks to top deck this card, and you draw it when you need it, and you don't when you don't. It's kind of one of those, and it's only live if you control Toon World and a Toon monster. That's why some of the spell and trap cards of this deck are really strong. Don't get me wrong. You're playing a Snatch Steal in this deck. That's an equip card. But you have to control Toon World and a Toon monster normally with the cards, and if you don't, they're dead. So that's why I play minuscule amounts of them in this deck. But I still want to play them because I still want to see them. So then we play 2 copies of Comic Hand, which is pretty much Snatch Steal if you control Toon World, which is really good. Don't get me wrong, really good. 3 Toon Table of Contents because it searches every single Toon card. Anything that has Toon in its name, it searches it, which is crazy. 3 copies of Toon Kingdom. Toon Kingdom is another one of those crazy cards that when it's activated, you banish the top 3 cards of your deck, which is no big deal at all in this deck because you play multiple copies of everything. And then its name becomes Toon World while on the field, and your opponent cannot target Toon monsters you control with card effects, which makes them all untargetable. And then if a Toon monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can banish 1 card off the top of your deck instead. So it makes them immune to Mirror Force and battles and stuff like that, which is really good. Which makes you want to attack your opponent with no fear when this is on the field. Then I play 3 copies of Instant Fusion because, you know, it's not a Pegasus deck without Thousand Eyes Restrict and without Millennium Eyes Restrict, the new card. So we make this, and plus it lets us bring out Panzer Dragon to make our Infinity really easily. So that card is essential. I don't know why people aren't all playing. Everybody needs to be playing this at 3 in Toons because it gives you a free monster to do whatever you need with it. Then I play 3 copies of Terraforming. Terraforming searches out your Toon Kingdom, and you need Toon Kingdom as soon as possible. So that's why you play 3 copies of it, and you might banish 1 off of your Toon Kingdom. Usually it doesn't matter that you're playing 3 copies of this, because you're either going to draw into it when you need it, or you're not, and it's like you're playing 9 copies of Toon Kingdom with 3 Toon Tables, 3 Toon Kingdoms, and 3 Terraformings. You're playing 9 copies of it, so you're going to have this. That's why I play more Comic Hands, because Comic Hand doesn't require you to have a Toon. It just requires you to have a monster. Or it requires you to have Toon Kingdom, or Toon World. So, then we play, for draw power, 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, because we play a lot of dark decks, or dark cards in this deck. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 targets for Allure of Darkness, and we don't need them all. If you draw a second stone, you can roll with 1 stone. So you can banish the second one you draw if you draw 2. So Allure is always just about live in this deck, because you're always going to have a dark toon that you don't really need. So that's it for the spells. Let's go into the traps. We only play 2 traps in this deck, and it's by far my favorite of the 2 Toon traps. And that is 2 copies of Toon Briefcase. It's pretty much like Compulse, but it sends them back to their deck, which is really annoying. If they normal summon a key card that they need, and then you shuffle it back into their deck instantly, they're like, oh, well, what am I going to do now? Because it can break combos. It can break combos. It can break a lot of boards, too. Like, if your opponent summons any monster, and it does not target. When your opponent summons a monster while you control a Toon monster, shuffle that monster into the deck. So it doesn't even target, so you can shuffle back something like Borreload or Beals or anything that's really easy to just shuffle back. But really good card. I recommend playing this at 2. And plus it's like Storming Mirror Force in a way where it shuffles them back into the deck. So that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. And like I said, you don't need the whole extra deck, because usually you're just going to make the combo where you have Red Eyes, Dark Magician, and Ancient Gear Golem on the field, and that's already 100 points from game. If you draw any other toon and can normal summon it next turn and attack them, by turn 3 you should have them down to 100 attack. or 100 life points, and then you can just overlay for Flare Metal, and they activate one effect and they're dead. So 1 copy of Flare Metal. Speaking of Flare Metal, gotta play that Ghost Rare. Ghost Rare is the only way to go with Flare Metal. God, I love that card. 1 copy of number 11 Big Eye, because it steals your opponent's monsters, because Comic Can wasn't enough. And then number 42. 42 is really good. Galaxy Tomahawk, like I said, you make Galaxy Tomahawk, give yourself 5 tokens, and then link them to make different monster names to make Yugioh. So you can draw the exact cards that you need, like the Blackstone of Legend. And if you draw multiple copies, or you draw out your copies of Red Eyes, Toon Dragon, you can shuffle them back into the deck, because you don't need them in your hand. You need them in the deck. That's why we only play 2. Then we play Cyber Dragon Nova to make Cyber Dragon Infinity. Infinity is probably the best first turn play you can make in this deck, besides just summoning a bunch of Toons and hoping for the best. But Infinity is really good because it can negate stuff, so that's why we play Infinity. Another way to summon out Infinity with our instant fusions is with Panzer Dragons. You activate instant fusion, or you special summon out your Cyber Dragon, then activate instant fusion, summoning Panzer Dragon, overlay them both, and then make Nova, and then make Infinity, so it can protect your Toon Kingdom before you activate it. Then I play Millenniumize Restrict. It's another target for instant fusion. That's about it. Thousand-Eyes Restrict, just another target for our instant fusion, so that's pretty much it. And then for the link monsters, we play a Borreload. Borreload makes it really easy to summon out with Galaxy Tomahawk, because it's just really, really easy. Yugioh, again, same way. Decode Talker, in case we need it. Cleafheart Genius, you make it the same way. You just send this and another token. That's your first little combo. 1 Proxy Dragon, 1 Link Spider, and 1 Link Karibo. If you don't have Link Karibo, play another Link Spider so you can put those on field and then summon your Borreload, because it requires effect monsters. That's pretty much it, because you can make really quick combo. If you have 2 Link Spiders on the field, like say Link Karibo is actually Link Spider until this gets reprinted, and then Power Code Talker extra, or Link deck, or whatever it is, that's coming out I think in July. You make this and this, which is 2 Link 1s, and then you make Cleafheart Genius, and then you link all 3 of those together and make Borreload, which is really, really, really easy. And this actually does not call for, this just calls for different names, so you can use tokens. So you use a token, this, Link Spider, and Link Karibo, and you make it. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed taking this one. This is a much anticipated deck profile for me, and a really enjoyable deck profile. I actually really, really love this deck, and it's like one of the oldest archetypes in the whole game, because it came out in the original Pegasus structure deck, which was actually my first structure deck ever. So Relinquish was my first card. Side note. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to click that bell right down there so you can be part of the notification squad. Check out the Patreon down there, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.